cave, suivez-nous.
Bonjour.
Welcome to Delavenne's house. We are récoltant manipulant for 4 generations. It's the family of my husband, Jean-Christophe. We do everything from the harvest to the winemaking alone.
Here at Champagne Delavenne, we only vinify in stainless steel or ceramic lined tanks. I want to present you very simply the Bouzy vineyards, the terroir of Bouzy, the fruit of Bouzy. I don't use oak barrels because I really want to present you the purest flavors that express themselves to the fullest potential. And doing the winemaking in stainless steel or ceramic lined tanks does not alter the flavors and aromas, and you get exactly what we have harvested. So we can really give you the true expression of Pinot Noir and the true expression of Chardonnay, which for me is very important. What would be called non-vintage champagnes at Delavenne are in essence dual vintages. That's because they are a blend of wine from only 2 consecutive harvest years. Jean-Christophe likes to say that the older year teaches the younger year, creating a continuity of quality. Why don't I use malolactic fermentation? The simple answer is that this is my family's tradition. My parents, my grandparents, and my great-grandparents made this style choice, but this is not really the reason. I like the flavors. It has much more length on the palate. I prefer this technique not doing malolactic fermentation because you keep the natural grape acidity and the wine is more lively and fresh. It's more alive, and personally, this is the kind of wine that I love. Because when you drink Champagne Delavenne, the flavors linger in your mouth. The flavors are much more intense. I really love the sensation this creates when you taste a champagne that does not have malolactic fermentation. And this also increases the cellar aging potential? Absolutely, because if you keep the important natural acidity, you have a greater cellar aging potential, most definitely. The sugar in the dosage is lower and lower, given that I always harvest later, when there is the best grape maturity. That way, the natural fruit can speak for itself. But a little bit of dosage can give it an extra touch. It intensifies the flavors, and that's what I find exciting, especially since it's my homemade liqueur for the dosage that I make with my reserve wine. It really brings out the flavors. It's the little bit of salt or pepper that makes the dish better, and that's my signature. Today is bottling day for the Bouzy Rouge 2018. Here's the bottle with the Bouzy Rooster. This is a specific bottle representing the Bouzy vineyards. This is the harvest 2018, which was a magnificent harvest, very fruit-driven and lightly peppery, and with a small touch of caramel that I noticed when we tasted it this morning at the house before bottling. We are bottling it specifically today because the biodynamic coefficients are favorable. I work more and more according to the biodynamic calendar, which allows us to put less stress on the wine, keeping the wine calm and clear. I use the Bouzy Rouge for our rosé champagne because I really like to create a blended rosé. This is really a great way to take advantage of the aromas and the flavors and concentrate on the color of the rosé. I wanted to make a real fruit-driven rosé. So here we are in the vineyards of Bouzy. I have 9 hectares of vineyards in Bouzy, Ambonnay, the village just behind you, and Cramant, that is just over there. These are my family vines that have been handed down by my grandparents and my great-grandparents and of course my parents. Here we are in a vineyard plot that is very important for our house because it is with the grapes from this plot that we created Aura de Marius. I wanted to make Aura de Marius 100% Pinot Noir because I wanted to create a wine that has a masculine heritage. I created a champagne for each of my children, each one with a different personality, because we really wanted these bottles to breathe the character of each child. We are right in the heart of the Bouzy terroir, and this is a plot that was given to my father by his grandfather, and my father recently gave it to his grandson, my son Marius. It is our family tradition to hand it down from grandfather to grandson. Our vines are located all around this area. I would especially point out a plot that we just co-planted last year with many different varieties on the same plot, including some Massal selection vines. There are exactly 8 different varieties on this plot. The idea is to create an environment where the plants can communicate effectively with each other. We now know that plants communicate with each other through their roots, and this allows them to create a natural defense system against illness. I really believe wholeheartedly in this. I believe in the influence of the moon and the power of biodiversity. I believe that the plants can create a community, and that community can create an immune system. I'm currently also working on a project to add certain plants to the vineyards that naturally protect them against certain illnesses, pests, and rodents, and will work with the vines to protect them and create a connection with the vines. Our champagnes are produced only from the family's Grand Cru vineyards. Single village cuvées from Bouzy, such as Champagne Delavenne, Grand Cru Brut Nature, and Grand Cru Brut Reserve. The Delavenne house blend for these cuvées is 60% Pinot Noir and 40% Chardonnay. We also create some cuvées from the family's Grand Cru vines in Bouzy and Ambonnay, such as Grand Cru Brut Tradition and Grand Cru Demi-Sec. Right now we have a beautiful 2015 vintage with an unusual blend of 80% Chardonnay and 20% Pinot Noir.